None of us likes being away from their kids for too long, yet long distance parenting sometimes is unavoidable. Welcome to Parenting Today. My name is Rebecca Miruri Mulure, and our conversation for today is around long distance parenting. Are you there? Are you parenting your child from afar? Then this show is for you. Welcome to the show. Today on set we have Sarah Monari. Sarah Monari is a mother of two, and her spouse is away overseas. She tells me overseas, and she has to parent the children. They have to parent the children from that long distance. And on set is a consultant psychologist and trainer, and also the CEO and founder of Tulivu Psychological Counseling and Wellness Services. Her name is Hamida Ahmed, joining us for this conversation. Karibuni sana ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
so long distance parenting, like I said, I think none of us really likes, being away from our kids. But sometimes circumstances, make it very necessary. Let's start with you, Sarah. Tell me about your children, your family, and when you started this long affair thing.
Well, thank you so much. I'm Sarah. I have two kids, a daughter 9, my son is 3 and 4 months. And we've started the relationship in 2010, close to 11 years, 11, 12 years now, yeah. Well, it is quite interesting. You hear people say, how do you manage? How do you parent? But it works. It has worked for me for the years that I've, we've done it, and here we are.
Since 2010, 2011.
2010 years.
2010.
We started as dating, then we had no kids, and we were like, then it got serious as the, relationship like any other progresses, and the kids came in, and we're still going strong.
So did when the kids came in, was your spouse still around, or was he still here?
Okay, yeah. When I had my first girl, with all my kids, he's always is around. He visits often, and yeah, when I was, due, he comes, the support, he stays for long, the timing, and he gives all the support that I need.
Let's talk about the first one. When you got the 11-year-old, was he around?
He was around. Actually, that's the longest. He stayed with me for 6 months because it was so new, just from being this single girl, no kids, and now with the baby. And he's like, I'm going to be there. I'll help you, So he stayed for 6 months. That was the longest we had been together until my daughter turned 4 months. And the things, he had to go back to work and all that. So, yeah, but he was there.
How was that like first initially? I like it that he was here when the baby was born.
Yeah.
And then now he had to go back to work. I'm assuming before you started, before you got married, he was still working far from you.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
so how was that like, when he left and you were there with your, how many months old?
4 months.
4-month-old baby.
4 months.
Yes.
It was quite stressful because now from the start it was just me and him, and now there's, a baby involved, and it's something we are not even planned because all along we're like, when we have kids, we have to make it work, we have to at least be together. But then things happened and he had to go back to work, take care of other bigger things than just, So it was stressful for me. Actually, I think for a minute I kind of snapped into depression, just like, how am I supposed to do this, You have to call and it's just calling, how is the baby? But I'm, going just through it on my own was really difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of lost touch for a few months, I can say, before I started accepting now, this is the reality, this is the journey, I have to do it, and yeah.
Yes. Okay, we'll get back to you. Hamida.
Yes.
I'm thinking this is a very young relationship.
Yes.
And the baby is only 4 months old.
Yes.
And the dad has to be away.
Yes.
How do you cope with such when the baby is that young?
Wow. I think it takes, first of all, a very strong couple to be able to manage this and make it, in the sense that there has to be a lot of communication and a lot of understanding that, my wife has just had a baby and I'm supposed to be there, but I can't be there because work calls and I have to fend for them, right? So it takes a lot of constant back and forth, communicating, because it's a new baby and each baby comes with their own demands. So the other partner who is away has a responsibility to check in to make sure that he understands, first of all, what is my wife going through and what can I do to support. Yeah, what are you going through as a person, as a new mother? A new mother, that's already a challenge by itself. Yeah, so maybe Becky, just going back a little bit, it is important for us to understand that parenting is very tough. It's one of the most amazing experiences we'll ever have as human beings, but it's also the most challenging. So on top of that, now you add a distance between the two parents, and the child is with one of them. So the parent who is physically with the child, like her,
Yes.
wow. Sometimes you get so frustrated, like if you're saying she was almost snapping. It's like sometimes you don't feel like you're getting enough support from the other person, but they're doing the best that they can from their end. So a lot of communication, a lot of conversations about what is really happening on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the point I think I want to talk about support. Sometimes find he's away, and there are things that he can't really support when he's not there physically.
Yes.
So what kind of support did you get from the people who are around you? Did you get any? If you got any support from the people who are around you, that probably helped you now, just cope with the fact that you are a new mother now, you are a new parent now, and you have a little child, and your spouse is away and not able maybe to help you through the season.
The support I had initially with my first daughter, at that time I wasn't working. He's the one who was like providing financial and everything. And I was with his parents. So I had this family, shield. But trust you me, it's not enough. Like, there are expectations, there are things you want when the baby is crying at night. Oh, if you would have been here, you would have done this. But he was there communicating. How did you wake up? How is the baby? The clinic times and dates. Like, we kept that. I think communication for us has been the key. And he's always he wants to know everything. Like, just tell me everything, And the things you just don't want to say because I feel like, but he gets it. I'm like, okay, fine, just sleep on it. How is the baby doing? I'm like, no, today I'm not in a good mood. I didn't sleep at all,
Yeah.
Like, well, what do we do? I'm like, there's nothing we can do. I just have to, go as each day comes. Yeah, it was a challenge. But I had the family.
But you had the family as support.
My support.
How important is it, like, to just have that? And what kind of support does a new mother, with a spouse who's away, need?
Wow. I mean, first of all, as a woman, it's very confusing having your first child. It's interesting. I always, make fun with the young mothers who are just getting their first kids. They enjoy the pregnancy. There's the pregnancy shoot and all that. And then the baby lands.
Yeah.
It's a completely different story.
Yeah.
And each child is different. So you realize that it's not maybe what I've been reading in books, yeah? Theory and practicals are completely different. It's like I need somebody to be there to go through the same experiences that I'm going through. And especially the father of this baby. It's like I'm waking up at 10, I'm waking up at 3, I'm losing my mind. And you cannot tell your mother-in-law, for example,
Exactly.
to step in at 3 in the morning, akushikie mtoto. No. It means that you have to struggle. There are things that you have to keep to yourself. And sometimes there's also the danger of not wanting to tell your spouse everything because you don't want them to get stressed because they are far. So you end up carrying quite a bit. And she's mentioned something very important, the danger of slowly finding yourself falling into the postpartum depression as a new mom, which is a completely different issue where you are losing yourself, you don't understand what is happening, you're moody, your sleeping is just so messed up because the baby dictates how much sleep you get as a new mom.
Yes.
And especially if you have not learned how to train your baby, because nowadays at least there are people who can support you to help your baby sleep in certain hours and wake up at certain times, just creating a routine. But it's not easy. So getting somebody even to be the one getting the bottle for the baby at night, somebody to understand that, I don't want to wake up in the morning, just be the one before you go to work, just make sure that everything is okay. I need to sleep until 11. And I don't want to be woken up. You know, but there are those things you can't tell maybe the house girl. She can't be in your room waking up all those times or changing the diapers and everything. So a lot of emotional support and practical support that is needed by a mother, a new mom.
A new mom.
Yeah.
So the baby grows, and maybe she's now at a point where you want to introduce her to the father. How did that go? Like you know, there's this other parent that you have, other than me. How did that go?
Actually, there's something she's talked about the postpartum. I had it after my first daughter. We actually kind of want to know to do it. Like, I don't want to do this. I can't, you know. He's like, no, you know, it's the baby. And I'm like, yeah, it is the baby. And it's this long thing. I don't get it, you know. So I kind of fell back. It took us almost a year before we got the connection back, you know. Like, I was like, no, it can't work. So, but yeah. The baby, he was keeping progress with the baby. Then I think the first Christmas when she turned 1, is it 1? I wasn't around actually. Something happened, you know, after the baby grew, and I'm like, I need a break. Like I was falling apart. I need a break. I want to just go somewhere, find myself, and then I'll come back when I'm okay. And like he was shocked. Like I thought this is going on well, you know, but it had taken a toll of me. It was a new experience. It was I was scared. Like, what if something wrong happens? I'm gonna be like, where were you? The baby sick? You know those things. And those are things I was just.
You thought like you would blame you for anything.
No, even yourself, you know, because you know this thing, you're like, okay, maybe you know something we could have done together. So it took a toll on me. I took a break for 6 months. Yes, I'm like, I'm gonna leave my daughter with my mom, and you take care of her the way you've been doing, and I'll just come back when I'm mentally okay. Yes.
That's how much it affected.
That's how much it affected me. Yeah.
And you know, it's quite interesting that you've actually brought that up. We sometimes we overlook it, and just thinking that he's providing, you know, that's enough. You know, at least they have enough money to be able to run around, buy the necessary diapers or rocking chairs for the baby.
The most expensive.
Yeah, they're there.
Why do we always feel like? Is it something that is common? Like sometimes we always think like, okay, as long as he's able to provide financially, then I'm fine. But now listen to her case.
Yeah, I think, but the most important connection, the most important support is the emotional. You know, stuff we can find. Even as a woman, I can be able to figure things out and buy a stroller and buy all these things. My girlfriends can bring those things for me. You know, it's not about that necessarily. It's good, and we appreciate that. But then the emotional connection, the emotional support, you can imagine in her situation, the kind of guilt that she carried, the kind of judgment, you know, explaining to people that you've just left your young baby as a woman, you know, it's like you don't care about your child. What are you trying to do? And I'm sure it was very difficult for her to explain to her, to even herself. It's like, why am I doing this? But she took the right steps by, first of all, taking care of herself. Because somebody going through postpartum depression, there's also the risk of such a mother harming their own child. The child is in a danger, especially if the mother is really struggling a lot.
Yes.
So she did what she had to do, and we should not shame women when they're taking care of their mental well-being. It's important. And thank God at least her mother was there to support her through that journey. So the physical things, the material things are good, but it's just a fraction of what a mother needs or a parent needs. Because we also have, you know, single dads nowadays. It's like, what support do they need? You know, because sometimes you'll find like when women have given birth immediately, some of them don't even remember to go to shower. They're just there. when the baby sleeps, they want to sleep. They don't care about so much. So having that support to the extent that, you know, as a mother, I'm able to at least take a shower. As the baby grows, I'm even able to go out and just take a cup of coffee away. I do not want to hear any baby crying. I do not want to be asked anything about being a mom. We just need that.
That's
Or
great.
and even talking to other ladies or somebody else, not about babies necessarily, but just away from
Just
the
to
baby.
just to get some
Just
form of
to-
support.
Yes.
And that's what we'll talk about after the break, because I want to hear how now the kids, how you came back. Did he have to fly back to come and check on you? And you know, after the 6
Yeah.
months, was it
Yeah.
better?
Yeah.
And how did you cope with that now?
Yeah.
Even like just getting back now to the child after 6 months. I know it was also like a long distance parenting for you.
It was.
For that time. So we're taking a short break, after which we'll come back and continue talking about long distance parenting. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're watching Parenting Today. Today we're talking about long distance parenting, and we have Sarah Monari, a mother of two, who's sharing her experience. We also have Hamida Ahmed, a consultant psychologist, who's helping us, you know, just understand how to do it right. Back to you, Sarah. Tell me about that. Now, you came back after the 6 months. Did your spouse have to, you know, come back to the country, like to check on you and to check on the baby? And how did you get back now to mothering your child?
Well, for the 6 months I was away, it was totally difficult for me. But I think in that process, you know, like just being away from my daughter, you know, I was like, I was coming in all the time, you know, like I was flying in, and it reached a point my mom was like, it's not even working for you now, just come back. You have to, like, I don't care what you're thinking you're doing, you know, like you can't be two parents out there, you know. And then, so I made the bold move. I am like, you know what, let me come back, because for me it was totally depressing.
You went to a different country from
I
your
went to a
spouse.
different country.
Wow.
Yes, I was not around. So after a month, I used to come back. I'm flying in. Mom, Rachel. She's like, what are you doing? It's not even, you know. So she was really like, no, I want you to come back. This is your daughter. This is your relationship. You've started it. Just come and fix it. You know, you've taken all the time you want. I'm sure you just needed the breather, but the reality is still waiting for you. So just come back. And I did. I packed my bags. I came back. So I think I flew in. When I was coming back to the country, my then now husband was also leaving, but we had to meet. He's like, no, we have to meet. We have to talk about this. We have to figure out how we, you know, if we want to do it together or, you know, not together. So let's just talk about it and let's see how things are going to work. So yeah, we sat down, you know, my daughter was now 1 year, and yeah, so.
Did you feel any disconnect?
I didn't, because I was constantly coming.
Okay.
You know, like if I could call home and my mom is like, oh, she has a flu, she's going to the hospital. I'm like, what happened? What's going on? I just go to the office, I tell my boss, I have to catch a flight, just to, then it was just, you know. So I think that's when my mom realized I can't be away from, you know, from my daughter. Yeah, she's like, you can't keep, like, she's sick, you're not okay, you don't feel fine, you want to fly in, it's expensive, you're making money using it to come in. So, you know, yeah. So she's like, no, just, your mind is here with your daughter, just come back.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So how has it been like now since that time when you decided, okay, fine, now I need to be around my child? And now your spouse being away, did he understand you at that time, and did he like, you know, did you guys find a way out of it and figure it out? Like, just know that it's possible to parent with kids away from each other.
It was really challenging, especially now when I also went, like we almost separated, and you know we can't do this. But I think with you know, seeing our baby, and you know, we're like, we all want the best for her. And now it's not us anymore. We have to find a way. So it worked. It took time. It didn't like just magically work. There was a lot of processing and, what do we do? What don't we do? Let's start. So we took baby steps. I can't say it was, like one flow and back. Because after I left, like a lot had happened. There was a lot of bitterness here and there. But, you're like, no, it's not going to be like that. Let's just focus on. So it worked. It took time. I can say almost 2 years. It took time just communicating and processing things slowly. You need this, I need that. Then, it eventually worked.
But it eventually worked.
It eventually worked.
I think there's a question that I had asked her earlier on about now introducing your child to an absent, so to speak.
Yes.
Not absent per se, but not physically available parent.
Yeah.
So how do you introduce your child now to so there's your dad,
Yes.
there's another parent here.
Yes, I mean that can start right from the beginning. Yeah, for example, when I was 8 months pregnant, my husband got a job out of the country. So I was just 1 month, then I give birth. So what we did is that he had to come back, for the birth, get to start that journey with his son. Being the one, carry, just strolling the baby from the theater to the nursery and all, just starting that journey, being there, helping me a little bit. Yeah, and the phone calls are just showing the baby, listening to the father. You start right from the beginning. He needs to be there. He needs to be there. The technology is really helpful in the sense that even if the child can start, familiarizing himself or herself. It's like, there's this voice, and you can see they're getting excited. And also, the other parent, as much as possible, just being able to come back home. And when we're talking about distance parents, we're not talking about people who are necessarily out of the country. The family could be in Nairobi and the father is in Kisumu. Yeah, so it is your responsibility to make sure that you are showing up every other time. You need to build a relationship with your child. So the parent who is at home, just encouraging the connection, use the technology, make sure that, as the child grows, they're already familiar with each other.
Yes.
So it's not like, we are now starting to introduce you to who your father is.
Who's your father? There's already a familiar person.
Exactly.
You remind me, I think, especially when you've spoken about it doesn't have to be like overseas or in a different country.
No.
My dad used to work in Nairobi.
Yes.
And we used to live in Nakuru.
Yes.
So you can imagine, like, he would come home every weekend.
Yes.
And I would look forward to seeing him. And then technology wasn't as good as it is right now.
Yeah.
So we didn't have constant communication on phone.
Yes.
So it was always like looking forward to Fridays evenings,
Exactly.
Friday evenings when he'd come home
Yeah.
and he'd spend, I think, the weekend with us and then go back to Nairobi on Sunday.
Yeah, but can you see already the kind of culture your dad created?
Yes.
It was a happy one.
You
It's like you're looking for. There are situations where the absentee parents, when they show up, the environment in the house changes. Not for the positive side, but there's a lot of tension, a lot of, because the dad comes in and they want to pick up from where they left. They want to parent a certain way, not, disregarding what has been happening in the house. It's like mom has certain rules, but he wants to come or she wants to come with his or her own rules, which really messes kids up.
I want you to talk about that. Looks like it's something
that is so true.
And you know that your daughter's how old?
Now she's 9.
Oh, she's 9. Oh, and then you have a son, sorry.
And then my son
is
actually what she's saying is so true.
Yeah.
You have a certain pattern.
Yeah.
Like you're used to
A
telling
culture
a culture
that
you've developed around your kids, and
Yeah.
the kids know. When mom says don't do this, it means. And at times you let them mess up because you see you're coming from work. You just let them get away.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't notice. So when he comes in, it's like, why would you do that? Why would you? Then you look at him, you're like,
Judgment.
You've been away.
You've been away. This is how it works.
Yeah.
It's like, no. So now that's when you realize, okay, wait a minute. You have to stop and be like, he's been away. He's now coming in. Actually, I look at it like now it's like you're an outsider. You're watching from the outside. Everything is happening This is our space. We've created our harmony.
Yes.
I know when to tell them no, when to, and at times I'm like, you know what?
It's okay.
So now he sees all that. He's like, no, why did you? He's gonna grow up to be, and I'm like, what do you like? Excuse me now. So actually, it brings conflict at times. Like,
yeah.
no, he's like, no, I'm telling you. I'm like, but I know. So you kind of conflict a little bit, but then at times I'm like, it's your time.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Take over. Actually, I always take a step back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a month, 2, 3. Wow.
Parental.
It's a breather. So I'm like, step in, anything goes. Whatever you want, how you know now he's like, he wants to be there, he wants to do this, you know, gifts, outings and everything. I'm like, see, you're all fun. And then I'll be, so the kids are like, Mom is the bad cop. That is always fun.
And that is why
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that, but there's something that she's mentioned that I want you to talk about.
Yeah.
How should the other partner now treat that situation?
Yeah.
You know, if you've been away and you're coming in now to the relationship that has been going on here,
Yes.
that she's been physically there.
Yes.
How can they adjust now to that? Should they adjust or should they just come with their own parenting styles?
Yeah, because let me tell you, even for parents who live under the same roof, parenting as a team is normally a challenge. Because remember, I was raised a certain way and I want to raise my children a certain way. My spouse was raised a certain way and he has his own values and beliefs about how a parent should show up. So it's even now much more complicated when you are the only parent, physically and emotionally present every single day. You have found your rhythm, as she has said. You know, you do things a certain way. You have your own schedules. You've learned your children. You have a house girl that you have trained in a certain way. Then this other parent shows up and they want to compensate. And I'm not even just say compensate. I'm not shy to say overcompensate.
Exactly.
Because they want they want the children to feel their presence.
Exactly.
That includes doing amazing stuff for the kids and also disciplining them. And you'll find, you know, sometimes children don't take it very well when the outside parent, the absent parent comes in and starts punishing the kids. It's like, you know, it's like it's not sometimes taken in very well. So it's important for first of all, the two parents right from the beginning start talking about what parenting style you want to apply in your household. I know you were raised a certain way and I know I was raised a certain way, but what kind of culture do we want to cultivate in our family? What kind of parenting style do we want to introduce to our family? Because we have parents, some people believe in punishment, which is, you know, including punishment means what? Physical or other means that, you know, of punishment, instilling pain, instilling fear. But when you're talking about discipline, you have parents who are very good at disciplining, meaning teaching. They are very patient and they are able to step in when a child messes up and guide them. But the other parent comes in and maybe they're used to punishing and they start punishing. So you can imagine the parent who believes in discipline, sees her children or his children being
it boils
whacked.
down to the two of you.
Of course.
I want us to take another break,
Yes.
but after the break you'll tell us whether he's been overcompensating in any way and how to maybe best maximize the time that the other spouse, the other parent is around, is in the country or is within the vicinity. You're watching Parenting Today. Today we're talking about long distance parenting and we're going to get back after this short break. Welcome back. You're watching Parenting Today and we're talking about long distance parenting. On set is Sarah Monari, a mother of 2. We also have a consultant psychologist, Hamida Ahmed, who are taking us through this this conversation. Before the break, we were talking about
Overcompensating.
overcompensating for your absence.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Do you see these things?
Wow. Trust
With
me,
your spouse?
it's as real as the word of compensating.
Yes.
You know, he comes in and it's nearly Christmas, so he's excited. Gifts, candy, anything they want. Like the whole year they've been preparing this list that he's coming home. So there's everything they want, they know that he's gonna get. So and he comes and he doesn't know when to stop. He's like, no, I haven't seen them. So that's when you're like, you know, like, isn't that too much, you know? Oh yeah, no, remember, my daughter now, you know, we can communicate, and she'll be like, yeah, but mom, I told you, you said I wait, but I told dad, he said he'll get. So he comes in overcompensating everything. Their time, you know, out and playing, you know, for us, we have a schedule, like this weekend I'll take you swimming, the next weekend chill home and cook, you know, just have a laid back Sunday, or it's like, for him, it's every day. Because it happens, he's on vacation.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, no, this is the only time I get to bond, and so he does everything to a level that, you know, you're like, wow.
Yeah. And how does that play out?
Wow. Of course, the parent who comes in has a lot of fun, and the kids have a lot of fun. So, but now, what happens when the fun parent leaves, and the bad cop, the other parents left? Yeah, you may find that it may take you a while to be able to go back to your normal routine, and the children might resist. It's like, you're not and they might feel like you're not a good parent, you're not the best parent, because how comes that when mom comes or dad comes from overseas or from wherever, it's fun, but when you're here, we have routine, we always talk about homework, you talk about only the serious things, but it's because those serious things have to be done. So we have to be careful, we have to find a balance, always communicate to the parent who is on the ground, to be like, how do we do this, so that when I leave, I don't leave behind, a mess.
Exactly.
Yes.
I remember earlier on you spoke about connecting emotionally.
Yes.
I've heard of cases where maybe a parent was away from the country for some time, either away from the country or away from town, like, for some time, and then when they come back, there's some form of disconnect with their children, and it has to take them time again to start connecting with them.
Yeah.
Or maybe they had just gone for studies, and then now they're back, and they cannot connect at all.
Yeah.
Because I think the children just feel like, you've been away, why you, now you're back, oh wow. So there's that. How can parents deal with that?
Wow. I think it depends on how you manage the long distance parenting thing, first of all. Because you need to be able to include the children. They need to understand, why is daddy away, or why is mom not physically here. Remember, when other kids are being taken to school by their moms or dads, and theirs is not there, they feel some type of way. Yeah, and it is very possible to actually create a bond with your children from a long distance. It is a commitment. You have to get involved in their lives. But if you're just there living life, and then you show up and expect, their DNA is the same as mine, so the bonding has to be automatic, it's not like that. And the kids nowadays are very smart. They know, they can feel it, and the kids can feel your energy. Yeah, if you care about them, somebody who loves and cares about me will check on me consistently, will want to know what I'm going through. Who are my friends, for example? Yeah, what is it that I'm learning in school? What subjects have I taken? It's very interesting sometimes, just even asking, and I'm sorry dads, just asking them even, what class is your child? And they're like, by the way, which class is so and so? Yeah. So you don't even know which class, so meaning that you don't even know who their class teacher is. Sometimes even when you are far away, having a discussion, with a class teacher in school, when the child is there, having fun games together, doing a puzzle together. I have amazing parents who actually do homework with their kids. They are far away, but it's their responsibility. Virtually. So they know which topics their kids are covering. They know where their children are struggling. This parent is not physically present, but they're emotionally. The kids can feel the presence of the other parent, because we have parents who are physically there, but they cannot have a bond, and we call that attachment. And you know, our attachment styles are what informs our future relationships. How you attached as a child is how you're showing up in your relationships right now. So you can imagine you have a father or a mother who is away and the attachment is not very healthy. That also has an impact on children. Yeah.
Okay. And suppose it has happened, like you've been away and now you're back, and there's just that disconnect. How do you connect back now to your children, or how do you now start? Maybe you've been away and it's okay, now you're back now fully.
Yeah.
How do you adjust now to this life?
I mean, it will take time. You have to be very intentional, but also remember it's not about you. It reaches a point where children have maybe gone through a lot of pain by missing you, and they have created those mental blocks or walls to protect themselves. So it's not automatic that they will allow you in. It is not guaranteed that the connection will be there. But you as a parent, because you have good intentions, you keep trying, you keep showing up, but don't use force.
Yeah.
Because some parents come in and they want to be seen as I'm the head of the house. When I say this, it has to be done. Or when, then the kids now pull away even more. You have to come and just understand what is happening and get in touch with each one of your children, because your children are different. You may find that there's one child who is okay and they welcome you back and they're able to move on, but another one completely distances themselves. So understanding what kind of kids do I have, what are their needs, what can I do, even asking them what can I do to make things better. Apologizing as well.
There's also that.
It's important.
Sarah,
yes.
How have you managed to successfully raise your children now at 9 and 3 with the long distance relationship?
It's been challenging, like I said, but thanks to technology, like you mentioned, the communication is constant. They do video chats. We can always keep at, a pace. Like this is going on today. So everything is just open. I can say what has really helped for all the years that the relationship has worked is consistency in communication. Whether you want to talk or not, just communicate. Because that's how then your partner, you're able to, he also has, things he's maybe dealing with at work. He tells me everything. So we try to be open, in communication. We keep that channel open, even with our kids. Like, I want to video call the kids. I'm like, go ahead. Like they can just talk and tell them, how was school, how I have a plan this weekend. Can we do that? You understand? So the communication is constant, and you have to trust one another that you're doing the right thing for the kids. You just have to do that.
That is really key.
You have to trust one another. Like he has to trust whatever I'm doing is for the best interest of the kids, Leave us out of it, but the kids, and yeah, he trusts me a lot. Like, I know you got this, so go ahead and do it. Like if you feel that's right, because you understand the situation better. So, and there are things I'm like, you're the dad, step in. I try to talk these, and then yeah. So we know those roles when I'm like, no, this is not mine to do. I want you to do it so I can see the impact. But it's like, you're there, you got it. So we have to trust each other. That
trust is really important.
Is key.
As you finish, Hamida, what are some of the tips that you can give, like in a very in a very short time? Like just give a few tips as you finish.
Yes, I think first of all, the two parents communicating and coming to an agreement on what structure they need, and sticking to the structure, adjusting it together, working as a team. And consistency is very, very, very important. And knowing that, yes, I'm far away as a parent, but it is very possible to still raise my kids and be there for them emotionally, and show up, do homework with them, be there when they have activities, their birthday. I'm not physically there, but I'm showing up, sending gifts, I'm leaving voice notes, I'm writing cards to them, playing games, virtual games with them, but just being there. But the two parents have to remember that the most important people in that relationship at that point, the kids. It's like, how do we raise them as a team together? What needs to change? What is working? What is not working? Yeah, but you have to be intentional. Both parents, and especially the parent who is away, has to be really invest in being in their children's
being
lives.
intentional
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Sarah. Thank you, Hamida, for being involved in this great conversation, and thank you for sharing your experience. And I wish you great parenting, as much as it's long distance.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching today's show. We've been talking about long distance parenting, and I'm sure you've learned one thing or two about it. And I know that it's possible, like Hamida said, to actually parent your child no matter how far or close you are from each other. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Rebecca Miruri Mulure.
Welcome to Tile and Carpet, where we deal with everything you would need at home, in the office, restaurant, and hotels. We offer solutions to all your needs. We have a wide range of roofing solutions, tiles, sanitary furnishing, and interiors. We have exquisite furniture, elaborate dining sets, and classic comfy beds. Our prices are affordable across board. Feel free to visit us in any of our different branches in Mombasa, Kisumu, and Nairobi. We also do site visits and offer clients with professional advice. You can reach us on this number for the site visit.